All right, we're live. We're good to go. We got some 80s going on tonight for you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on, Dan?
Oh, I am excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little stuffy. Had a sinus infection, so I feel kind of pooey. But I decided I had to push through because I'm really excited about this one. I love everything 80s.
Yeah.
Was not even born in the 80s, but it's a special time for me. And I think you agree on this, Kyle. I have an affinity for 80s movies.
Oh yeah.
Really anything like the 80s shows I really enjoy. So yeah, I'm excited. We got some good ones here. So we have 5 different categories.
Yep.
And those who have not watched us live before, or if you're not watching live right now, because this will obviously go on our normal videos later on. Guys, if you're not watching us live, we go live every Monday and Wednesday at 9:30. It's honestly a lot of fun to play it live with other people. I think it's more enjoyable. But hey, that's just me.
Yep. Make sure also, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Throw us a like. It really does help get the channel out there. Like we've said before, we've been doing some games where we are giving away prizes and everything. We'd like that to be every game, and the only way to do that is to be able to monetize the channel. Right now, Dan and I are paying for all that out of pocket. So if you guys want us to be able to basically give if you want us to be able to give prizes out every game, throw us a like, share this with your friends, family members, whoever. Get them to subscribe so we can keep pumping the numbers. It's been growing really well, so we're excited about it. And I'm excited because I love everything 80s as well. Neither one of us were born in the 80s. However, as you can probably tell, the vibe of our channel, all the colors, everything is pretty much kind of based off from 80s neon and stuff like that. So simpler times.
It's basically the coolest thing ever. So, all right. So we got 5 different categories. We have, let's see, we have history for the 80s. We have history. Is it sports? Is that right? I'm trying to remember here.
We've got history, movies, TV. Hold on, I can tell you. Trying to remember. Movies, music, TV, history, and grab bag. So
yeah. Why did we do sports? I don't know why we did grab bag.
Yeah, I don't know. We should have thrown sports in there. Well, we do have some sports stuff. So
okay, yeah.
Okay. That's as I was conceived in the 80s. That is true.
Yeah, Kyle, you're old.
That's right.
You're old. So, all right, let's begin.
I think as I say, I think we're good. Let's get the show on the road here. So give me just a second. I'll get everything pulled up and ready to go, and then.
And don't worry, Cedar. Since there's not any Star Wars questions tonight, we figured there's a little. We don't want Star Wars fatigue here. So we got you. Don't worry.
That's right. We got you. Also, remember, speed counts. So you might have the right answer, but if you don't get in the top 3 in terms of fastest one to answer, the game won't count it. So
yes.
All right.
And those just playing, guys, remember, if you haven't played before, all you got to do is type in 1 through 4 if you are playing live for the answer.
Also, if you're watching from Facebook, do yourself a favor. Click on the link that we posted in Facebook. We'll pop up live in YouTube. Typically, it's going to be a lot better experience. And for some reason, the software doesn't recognize always the Facebook stuff, even though it says it's supposed to. So watch it on YouTube if you're not, just because it's going to give you a lot better experience for it.
All right. Let's do this thing.
Get this bad boy started here. Make sure we're on round 1. Start her up. All right. And let me switch that off, and let's share it. Here we go.
All right, we're good.
Beautiful. You want to do round 1 there, Dan?
Yes, sir. All right. Oh, and of course it does its, backwards counting. This software is so awesome, but man, it's so weird sometimes. I don't understand it. But anyhoozle, so we are starting with film, correct, Kyle?
Yes.
80s film.
I believe so, yeah.
Question number 1. Robert De Niro portrayed which boxer in the film Raging Bull? Is it Jake LaMotta, Roberto Duran, Rocky Marciano, or Chuck Wepner? So we got some fun facts about those just off the cuff. Kyle made this question. And there's some interesting stuff here. So like ones like Rocky Marciano, obviously he's mentioned in the first Rocky film. I think partially inspired by that, but so is Chuck Wepner, correctly, right?
Well, so Rocky was inspired by Chuck Wepner. So for anybody that doesn't know, Sylvester Stallone was at a fight where Muhammad Ali knocked out Chuck Wepner, but everybody was shocked because Wepner almost went the distance with him, and everybody basically gave him no chance. Basically what happened was Ali didn't really train ahead of time. He was out of shape, took it very lightly, and Wepner almost beat him. And so that was kind of the concept of the original Rocky.
Yeah, I got off topic, but it is Jake LaMotta. So, Raging Bull it's a good movie. It's definitely one of the better De Niro ones. So, question number 2: what is the name of the hotel that Jack Torrance agrees to be off-season caretaker of in The Shining? Is it the Mountainside Hotel, the Mountain Pass Hotel, the Overlook Hotel, or the Grand Hotel? So, The Shining is literally probably considered one of the best, if not the best, Stephen King adaptations. Critics and fans adore it to this day still. Stephen King hates it. Hated it so much, in fact, that in the early 90s, he had his own TV series he made off of it instead, his little short miniseries that was boring. Save yourself 4 hours, people. It's not good. It's not scary. And the funny thing is, the book itself is not, in my opinion, not really, I've read it before. It's not incredibly scary. The Overlook Hotel in Stanley Kubrick's version is honestly much scarier. But yeah, he was not happy that Jack Torrance was played by Jack Nicholson. He thought because people know he already kind of portrays a crazy man and everything. But I digress. Question number 3: in the movie E.T., what is E.T.'s favorite candy? M&M's, Reese's Pieces, Skittles, or Lemonheads?
I'm wondering if Dan knows this, because I know Dan's never seen the full thing of E.T.
I know. I can't believe it. I'm a huge Spielberg fan, and I've never seen. And I'm just saving it for a good moment. I believe it's Reese's Pieces.
You are right.
Reese's Pieces, I guess. I always say Reese's Pieces. I don't know.
I will admit, I remember that scene, but I couldn't remember what the candy was, so I had to look up the answer to it. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen E.T. It's on my to-watch list because I really do need to.
Yeah,
I do need to rewatch it.
I will watch it probably this October when I get to it. I just went through the entire MCU again in about a month, which if I not to toot my own horn or anything, but that's a lot of movie watching. So
I mean, I can't blame you. They're all pretty amazing for the most part.
All right, question number 4. In which city does the movie Ghostbusters take place? Chicago, LA, New York, or San Francisco?
Curious if you know this one. It's been a while since I've seen Ghostbusters.
I've seen Ghostbusters a million times.
Oh, I've seen it a bunch of times. It's been a while since I've watched it.
I think there's definitely going to be some people that say Chicago, but it's in New York. Oh, wow. Most people looks like are saying New York. So,
yep.
Yeah. That's just a fun movie. I have never seen the sequel, though. I've never seen Ghostbusters 2, which is interesting.
I haven't either, and I refuse to watch the reboot of it from a couple years ago.
Yeah, I understand that it's really bad.
Well, I mean, it's just, I don't know. There's certain movies that you can reboot, but I feel like with that, like,
yeah, you don't know.
That's just a tough reboot.
I would agree.
Looks like most people got that. Honestly, I probably would have struggled on that, like I said, because I probably would have thought Chicago. It's been a while.
Final question: in the Breakfast Club, what is the vice principal's name who spends all day with the kids in detention? Rob Varner, Robin Valen, Ren Vanek, or Richard Vernon? I think I know this one, but again,
now I know my wife's going to get this because this is one of her favorite movies, and I'll admit I'd never seen The Breakfast Club up until, I don't know, probably like 5 or 6 years ago. It is a really good movie, and it's definitely grown on me. I like it a lot more now, than when I first did. I mean, it's a John Hughes movie, so you can't not like it. But yeah, it is a good movie.
So this one, everyone's going with Richard Vernon, and I wonder, does everyone know that, or is everyone kind of like, I'm going with the crowd here because I have no idea. My guess was going to be either Richard Vernon or Rob Varner, but I couldn't remember. Mm-hmm. So interesting. All right, so that's the end of the film round. Let's see. I think that was pretty good. I think a lot of people did really well in this. Now it comes down to,
people did pretty well.
Comes down to speed. Wow, a lot of 5s here. So it looks like Sean, We got Bears fan and Curtis. Let me write these down. They each get a point piece. So if you place in the top 3, you get a point for each round. Person with the most points wins. As simple as that. So Sean, the Bears, and Curtis.
Apparently, we're not the only ones that really love 80s movies.
No, it's the greatest time in cinematic history.
I would agree. All right, music.
Honestly, even in the 80s are my favorite time of music. I love the 80s music. I don't think you're going to fool me on any of these ones. At least I don't think.
Probably not. I'm trying to think back to all the questions that I put together. Probably not. I think there's going to be a few that are going to be kind of tricky. I do love 80s music. 80s and 90s, man, it slaps. It's where it's at.
Absolutely.
Pretty sure Dan probably wouldn't miss any 80s, and I probably wouldn't miss any 90s.
Yeah, 90s I'm okay with, but not you and Stephanie. My wife, you guys are really good with that. Me, not so much. Not with 90s.
All right, here we go. Eye of the Tiger was written for Rocky III and became a mega hit. Who was the artist? Journey, Foreigner, Survivor, Genesis.
Please.
Says, are there any Backstreet Boys questions? Nah, the Backstreet Boys were the 90s and 2000s. I think everybody got that one right.
Anytime I hear the song, it's almost always when I'm in a gym.
Oh, yeah.
I can't help but get pumped up. I got to go over and hit a heavy bag, though.
Yeah, that's just like one of the classic workout songs right there. If you don't like that song, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just a good song.
Mm-hmm. And Survivor actually is known really for having that as a one-hit wonder, but they had actually a few other hits.
Most of their hits, though, actually came from the Rocky movies because they came back and wrote some songs for Rocky IV for part of his training montage and stuff like that. All right, number 2. Before enjoying a successful solo career, what band did George Michael start out with? And I know Dan's going to know this. Tears for Fears, Wham, Aha, Depeche Mode.
Oh, I really want to go see Tears for Fears in concert and Depeche Mode before both of them break up. Wham, obviously, with George Michael not being around anymore, can't do that. But Steph said Dan would have divorced me if I got that wrong. You're darn right. George Michael's got the voice of an angel.
He does.
I could listen to him all day. Honestly, Wham's okay, but George Michael's solo career, much better.
I would agree.
More. I mean, Wham's got a few slappers, but definitely nothing like his solo career. He's one of the few. I feel like it's a hard thing for a lot of successful people to go solo. You hear about the successful ones, but the ones you don't hear about are all the failures. And that happens.
There's a ton of them too. Oh yeah. All right, number 3. What band wrote and performed the feature song "The Power of Love" for the movie Back to the Future? Duran Duran, Bon Jovi, Hall & Oates, Huey Lewis and the News.
Killing me. You're killing me here. Again, this is something so fun fact, Huey Lewis actually appears in the film and he tells Marty McFly that he's just too loud. Got one of the greatest people in the history of music appearing on film. And
I do love Huey Lewis.
I think the only person who loves Huey Lewis as much as me is Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. And I'm not sure what that says about me.
I was going to say, what does that say about you and in your life?
I don't know. But,
Buff Edit says they slap. That's right. We should trademark that saying. I don't know. That might not be a good idea. All right. This singer-songwriter became known as the king of movie soundtracks as he wrote and recorded songs for movies such as Caddyshack, Footloose, and Top Gun. Who was he? Peter Gabriel, Kenny Loggins, Steve Winwood, Steve Perry.
So all I can think about is I'm all right with Caddyshack. As much as obviously Danger Zone is well known with Kenny Loggins and everything, but all I can think of is Caddyshack with the little gopher thing dancing to I'm all right. I'll be honest, I'm not a Caddyshack fan. Like as far as like, I don't think it's like the greatest comedy ever made.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I don't either.
It's funny. It has its moments, but yeah, the Kenny Loggins definitely had some good ones. But I'm gonna be honest, Top Gun kind of ruined the song for me for a while because God damn it, Top Gun, you play that movie or you play that song every other scene. It seems like it's like okay, we get it. It's a great song, but that doesn't mean it's like the engines are firing up for a plane. They start playing it. I'm like, okay, settle down. It's okay.
All right, number 5. This artist is known as the Queen of Pop and is the best-selling female artist of all time. Who is she? Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Tina Turner, Madonna.
Well, I know what my answer would be. Specifically, I know it's not. I think I'm almost certain it's Madonna.
It is.
But Tina Turner, man. We grew up on Tina Turner, so
I'm not gonna lie. After I made that question, I had to go onto YouTube and play some Tina Turner.
Whew. I remember the first time that Stephanie heard me just like belt out an entire song of Tina Turner. She's like, "What?" I'm like, yeah, that's right.
We listened to a lot of Tina Turner as kids.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that because it's good music.
Yep. All right, that's the end.
Yes, it is Madonna, and we did get some people on that. So, other than that, I think everybody got all the other questions right. We got to make these things harder.
We got a lot of 5s here. So, Sean stays up on the board with 2. A couple new peeps though. We got Tess and Mama S both with 1. Yeah, we got a lot of 5s. It just comes down to speed.
Yep.
Speed is what you need. What you need is speed.
Sean says Tina slaps.
Dude, Tina does slap. Dude, when she is in, I'm just gonna throw out there, peeps. I almost watched Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome yesterday, and that is an omen. I should have watched it because she slaps in that movie too. She's in half the songs. Oh my gosh,
I've never seen it.
Woo, dude. Thunderdome is an awesome movie. It's the best Mad Max movie. The first Mad Max is not that good. Anyhoozle, question number 1, round 3. The show Cheers was set in which city? Chicago, Baltimore, Boston, or New York?
Now, I have to admit, I've never seen the full series of Cheers. I know it was massively popular. So I actually, when I was looking up this question, because I knew I wanted to include the show into it because it's so iconic, but when I was coming up with it, I didn't realize their finale had almost 100 million people watching.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like that's got to be some kind of record.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Chicago.
See, that's what I would have guessed.
Everyone's saying Boston.
But Sean
even says Boston.
I can say it is Boston. See, I wouldn't have known that. Like I said, I've never really seen the whole thing all the way through.
I'm going to have to watch it. I think it's on HBO Max right now.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely have to.
Or on one of those. I know, like, obviously you know the intro and everything, but I don't know the show very well. Question number 2. This sitcom, nice spelling, Kyle, in 1988 focused on the Connor family. What was it? Full House, Roseanne, Married with Children, or The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah, the sitcom.
All right, so what we got here? I mean, Kyle and I grew up watching Full House, so we know it's not that.
So you grew up watching Full House and Fresh Prince.
And Fresh Prince was made in 1990.
Married with Children is definitely something I've definitely grown more fond of. Tess watches it a lot, and it is really funny.
Roseanne, as a kid, it was on Nick at Night a lot. I never liked it too much, but then now as I'm older, I feel like I appreciate it more.
Yeah. Yep.
At least the first few seasons. It was kind of the first show to really show like a lower middle class, really, I shouldn't say, probably a lower class family, and like they were honest about their situation, you know. Question number 3, on Married with Children, what is Al Bundy's occupation? Is he a tailor, a football equipment salesman, a women's shoe salesman, or a stay-at-home dad? This is Now, if I remember right, this is the same guy that plays the dad / grandfather on Modern Family, right?
Yeah, he also voices Mr. Incredible, I think.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
I'm pretty sure he I'm trying to think what his name is, but yeah, I think he's the voice for the dad in The Incredibles.
Showtime.
Cedar Sense says best show of all time.
I'd have to. I haven't seen Married with Children in a long time.
It is. Well, there's a lot of people that got. There's the daughter. What's her name? She became a pretty big actress. Christina Applegate, I think is who plays the daughter. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I only know her from Anchorman, to be honest. But question number 4: Michael J. Fox played which character on Family Ties? Stephen Keaton, Alan Keaton, Scott Keaton, or Alex Keaton? This I don't know. I've never seen it.
I got a few. Come on, Michael J. Fox was Alex P. Keaton. Come on. LFO even sang about that.
Oh, sorry, I don't listen to LFO. A band that was never relevant. God.
Alex P. Keaton. That's why I took the P out of there, because then everybody would have known it.
Oh, of course, everyone would have.
That's right.
Yeah, everyone would have been like, "Oh yeah, that one LFO song that no one heard of." That's how I know.
It's a great song. Looks like I got quite a few people on that one. A lot of people on that one.
This is gonna be a close game here. I think I got a great finale. A great tiebreaker.
I think the last 2 rounds are going to be really good.
What type of car does Magnum drive in Magnum PI? Oh yeah, a Corvette, a Camaro, Ferrari, or a Mustang?
I know Dan's going to know this.
Love Tom Selleck. I love Magnum PI. I went through in college and watched the entire show for the first time and fell in love with that gorgeous, gorgeous mustache. And I've ever since been trying to grow one, but every time I do, it doesn't come out nice.
I think I only got one person on that. I thought for sure that one would get a few more. Oh, no, I think I got 2 or 3.
So, fun fact about that is it's not his car. It's actually the guy. Magnum PI is kind of a bum. He uses the guy's mansion as his headquarters and uses his car. Doesn't own any of it. But that's how you do it, man. If you're a badass private investigator, that's how you got to live.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that is the
interesting round. The last 2 questions got a few people, so I'm curious to see how it shakes out.
All right, so it looks like Mama S and the Bears here both are going to be at 2 now, tied with Sean. Sean gets bumped out of total first, so he's tied with first now. And then looks like Bobby is on the board. All right, let's do it. What do we got here? We are on to history.
80's history.
I made these questions, and not to brag, but they're pretty awesome. So. There's so much. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's so much you could talk about for anything for pretty much any decade. So, like, we're gonna round back around to.
We'll be back to the 80s plenty of times. Yeah. We're gonna do all the decades a lot because there's so many different things you can do with that. Had to start with the 80s though. And how about that thumbnail for this? I mean, come on, that slapped right there.
Oh yeah.
All right, number 1. Who won the 1988 presidential election? Bill Clinton, George Bush, Ronald Reagan, Michael Dukakis. We're getting some peeps on this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dan, who was it?
So 1988 election was George H.W. Bush. Bill Clinton won in 92. And, of course, Reagan won in 1980. And pretty much through the 80s, he was the president. So,
yep. We got some people on that one, though.
I think the reason Bush didn't, because he was very popular for the 4 years, but when they brought Clinton up on the Democratic side, the dude played saxophone. I mean, that's not fair. He's going to woo everybody with his saxophone skills. Booted George out 4 years too early. Bobby says, no clue. I'm Canadian.
Number 2, what year did MTV begin? 1985, 1981, 1988, 1984. I'll wait till the end. I'm gonna take a shot at it. So I made the first 3 rounds. Dan made the last 2, so I didn't see these questions ahead of time. I'm gonna say 84.
It was 1981.
Oh, I almost said 81, and then I decided to go 84.
Nope. Anytime I hear MTV, I always think at least in my opinion, I always think of Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, I'm the only one that didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
Yeah, don't listen to Kyle when he's got a fuzzy feeling, apparently.
All right, here we go. Number 3. Maybe. There we go. All right. What year did the Chernobyl reactor fail, causing several explosions and a nuclear fizzle for decades to come? 1980, 1986, 1989, or 1982?
Cedarson says MTV is amazingly horrible these days. Yeah, it really is. It really is.
It is. Yeah.
Can watch.
Do they even do music on there anymore? I know that for a while they went to like all reality TV and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a bunch of like pregnant teenagers getting overpaid.
VH1 kind of did the same thing though too. Like they used to be all music video. Like as kids, like you could always watch like the top 20 countdown, and now that's like I don't even know if VH1's even around anymore. But,
I honestly don't know.
What is the answer on this one?
So this is 1986. A lot of people got this.
A few people got it.
It's still, I mean, the fact that it's still radioactive, they just had to replace they had to put like a giant like concrete tent around the entire thing a couple of years ago.
All right, number 4, name 1982's Time Magazine Person of the Year. Ronald Reagan, the computer, Yuri Andropov, John DeLorean. Oh, it's probably not him, but I got to go with the DeLorean. As a Back to the Future enthusiast, I have to go with DeLorean.
One day I'm going to own a DeLorean.
Oh,
yes.
I'm actually going to take a guess and say it's the computer. But
it is. The computer was the Time Magazine Person of the Year in 1982.
It just seems so out of place. It had to be.
Yeah.
But I stand by John DeLorean.
Poor John DeLorean. I think by 1982, he was pretty much indicted for
Curtis and Bobby get it. They went with 4. They get it.
John DeLorean, man, he had his time in the sun for about a year and a half, and then bad things happened. So wasn't a great guy.
Nope. All right, number 5. In 1983, the first mobile phones were introduced to the public by what company? I know this one because I wrote a paper on it in college. Verizon, AT&T, Simon Corp, Motorola.
All right. Who is it there, Big Brain?
I think I know this. I believe it's AT&T.
It was super confident, but no, it's actually Motorola.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, yeah, don't listen to me. Well, college was almost 10 years ago at this point, so yeah, don't listen to me.
AT&T was the first to come out with like a commercially like a really well-priced one that everyone could actually afford.
Maybe I went with AT&T in college and failed it or something.
Yeah. All right, let's see how everyone does here. So, this is coming down to the wire, I think.
I think you're right.
Let's see if we got some new peeps on the leaderboard here. We got Stephanie is up on the board, and Samantha and Kate. We have a whole new list of people. This is what makes it exciting. So, Sam with 1, Steph with 1, and Caden. All right. What we got here? We're on the final one. This is the grab bag.
Grab bag.
Not sure why we couldn't just think of another like specific topic, but we were kind of like, grab bag. It's a little easier to come up with questions. Like
Cedarson says, we know what you were doing in college, Kyle. Buff Edit says more Star Wars.
All right, here we go. So question numero uno. According to the Nielsen ratings, what was the most popular show in the 1980s? Is it Dynasty, The Cosby Show, Dallas, or 60 Minutes? I think this one's I'm gonna get some peeps. But
I think you're gonna too.
We shall find out.
Oh yeah, you definitely did. You got people all over the place. All right, I'm gonna take a guess.
All right.
I'm gonna go with the Cosby Show on this.
It was. So the Cosby Show, I did not know this. The Cosby Show from 1985 to 1989 was the highest rated show every single year.
I was gonna say
That's insane.
That was, other than Home Improvement, I think that was the only other sitcom to ever have a run like that.
And Dallas was 1980 and 1981 was the top rated show. Then Dynasty in 82, 60 Minutes in 83, and then the Cosby Show from 85 to 89. Question number 2. What was the best-selling video game of the 1980s? Is it Duck Hunt? That game slaps. Tetris, Super Mario Brothers, or The Legend of Zelda? Well, I never got into Zelda. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Not my thing. But Super Mario Brothers, man, as far as I'm concerned, they could bring that sucker back to...
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and the original Nintendo with the shitty graphics and all, the cartridges.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, man, we used to spend hours on that. You got to go Super Mario Bros. On this, I think.
It is Super Mario Brothers. So fun fact, 9 of the top 10 best-selling video games in the 1980s were all owned by Nintendo. Duck Hunt, Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, all Nintendo properties. Tetris was number 3 on that list and is the only one that was not owned by Nintendo. It was created by someone else. So Nintendo pretty much dominated the 80s for video games. Super Mario Brothers and their 4 sequels were 4 of them. Or 3 sequels, excuse me. Question number 3. Behind the USA and Soviet Union, what country's GDP was the 3rd highest in the world in the 1980s? Is it China, United Kingdom, Japan, or Germany?
I have an educated guess on this. So I'm going to say Japan, mainly because of the what you just said with Nintendo. I'm going to take a stab at it and say that video games really started gaining mass popularity in the 80s, and I'm gonna say Japan. Between that and then like Toyota and companies like that.
It was Japan after World War II, much more than Germany or even China, any of these other countries. Japan really took hold of what we were doing in the U.S. and with our help and everything, with really revved up their technology and their production. And yeah, their GDP was very solid through the 80s, and it really still is.
I feel like China was probably much more 90s and early 2000s.
Yes, China's time was coming, just not yet. Question number 4. The golden era was the 1980s for this particular sport due to a massive rise in popularity. Was it boxing, professional wrestling, baseball, or football? So you got to think which...
Well, boxing's golden age was really the 70s, 60s and 70s. Mm-hmm. Football was already popular anyway, and so was baseball. I'm going to say wrestling.
Yeah, you had wrestling. It is professional wrestling. Professional wrestling really took off in the 1980s. You know, you had WrestleMania number 3, which had tens of millions of people watching it, 90-something thousand people watching it live, which was a record back then. So, yeah, professional wrestling really with Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, you had all those larger-than-life characters really started taking off, and they consider it the golden era for wrestling. So we have, let's see, one final question. I don't know why this round decided to not let us see it, but...
Last couple of them didn't.
Last question of the night. What was the best-selling toy of 1985 and 1986? Is it a Rubik's Cube, Tamagotchi, Teddy Ruxpin, or Star Wars?
I mean, I feel like out of all of them, Star Wars is the most popular, but that was after the original films because they ended in 83. Tamagotchi, I don't think was big until the 90s. I may be wrong on that. I don't know. I'm going to... It's either 1 or 3. I don't know. I feel like
Curtis says, "How is Star Wars a toy?" So Star Wars is generic, like all the brand itself. Still, in 1985 and 86 was outsold by Teddy Ruxpin, the creepy ass bear where you'd put like a tape recorder in it.
Isn't that the one that like the eye shifted?
Yeah, that was
honestly back then. Like, think about that. That was probably like revolutionary compared to like nowadays. Like that would be like that's it. But
all right, so interesting. So Sean, I think technically, let me go back through and count. I think Sean technically took the lead and won the game here, but we got Curtis on the board now. And a lot of people place on this, and then Cedar Sense on the board.
Now, I believe did Sean win?
Sean had 3 points. The Bears had 2. Mama Ass had 2. And everyone else had 1. So, yeah, Sean did win tonight's game. But we'll do the final question anyway, just because.
I was going to say, Dan had a there we go. Dan had a bonus that he wanted to.
I got to get a haircut. My hair looks like
it's for everybody
all over the place. All right,
so we doing first to comment.
First to comment correctly. What year in the 1980s was the drinking age changed from 18 to 21? First one to guess it correctly.
So. All right, so I'm counting on the fact that I'm going to say Steph Sample gets this one correct based on our conversation earlier about her memory of the 80s.
That was quick. Brooke did get it right. So did Dirk, but Brooke did come in the first one. 1984 was the year they changed the question becomes, so if you were like 19 or 20 at that point and you were legally drinking, did they like boot your ass back and say, sorry, kiddo, you got to wait another year again to legally drink? I don't know. We'll find out. Well, guys, thank you so much for playing.
Cedar Sense put every year all the way through.
So, guys, thank you so much for playing. We'll see you guys on Monday night at 9:30. So, have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sean. So, Monday, we are doing Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
We're doing Harry Potter. And I believe on Saturday, we're going to have like a kind of a precursor to that. So, we'll have a pre-recorded one dropping on Saturday for Harry Potter. And then we're gonna have Harry Potter live on Monday night.
Yeah, awesome. Cadence, when you get
you're getting the dinosaur anatomy one.
Honestly, I think that doing a dinosaur one would be awesome. Dinosaur anatomy. I'm not sure if anyone would get that one, but dinosaurs themselves would be fun. So, but we'll eventually. We got a lot of them backed up at this point. So,
oh yeah,
we'll see. Cedarson says it'd be better off doing Chinese algebra. Is Chinese algebra any different than algebra?
It's still algebra, which
it's Chinese to me anyway, so I don't know. But anyway, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you guys Monday.